Why do I hate talking to people? I don't like small talk, and I'm an introvert. How many of you are an introvert? Well, I'm going to talk about how it is for me being an introvert, how draining it is for me to be around people, and I welcome your comments if you're an introvert or an extrovert. Tell me what it's like to be an extrovert. How does it feel? Because I don't know how that feels. But I'm going to talk about why I hate talking to people because I'm an introvert, what it feels like to be an introvert. That's the topic of today's video. Hi, I'm Sandra Wyllie. This is my mental health channel where I talk about my own personal struggles having borderline personality disorder. I talk about post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, depression, um, narcissism. I talk about schizophrenia, and I wrote a childhood memoir, Life with My Schizophrenic Father, right here. I talk about my unethical psychologist who I had sexual relationships with, and all the different therapists and therapies I've been in, but I only come on as a former patient of almost 20 years. I'm not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you or give you a professional opinion. And all I ask in turn of you is your kindness and respect always in the comments. Now, I'm going to tell you why I hate talking to people. It doesn't mean I hate people. The other day when I was grocery shopping, we were buying bird seed for the birds in my yard because I love feeding the birds. I have red cardinals. They're gorgeous. That vivid fire engine red, and blue jays and doves and woodpeckers. And the cashier said, oh, she loves feeding squirrels. She, gets shelled nuts for them. She goes, I love those little furry animals. I only like animals. I hate people. She goes, people are evil. She said it just like that. And I go, whoa, really friendly woman. People are evil. That's what she said, just like that, too. It's not that I hate people, okay? That's not true. So I don't want you to think that I'm a people hater. It's I hate talking to people. I hate talking to people because I'm an introvert. And I'm going to explain what it feels like. Why I hate talking to people. First of all, talking to people really drains me. It sucks all the energy out of me. I did a live the other day. I did 2 hours of talking. 2 hours, and I had a splitting headache after that, and I just felt like my energy was completely drained from me. I felt like all the life had been sucked out of me. I was exhausted. I was mentally and physically exhausted from talking for 2 hours. It was like it just took every ounce of, fiber from my body to do that. When I do my videos, they're usually 15 to 20 minutes. Once in a while, they go up to 25 minutes, but you really never see me do a video a half an hour. All of my videos are well under a half an hour. And there's a good reason for that, because it is exhausting for me. First of all, I hate small talk. It just feels so phony and fake. When you meet someone or you're in a waiting room and you talk to someone, oh, is it going to rain today? Oh, I don't know. Did you hear the forecast? I didn't bring an umbrella. Or, I don't know. I just don't do good at small talk. Oh, is that a picture of your son? What is your son doing? Is he working or going to school? Like little things like that. Especially when people ask me about myself. I hate that. I feel like I'm put on the spot. Like the spotlight is on me like this. This is how I feel like. When people ask me questions, I feel like I'm on stage in the spotlight. So what do you do? I hate that question. What do you do? I'm a writer. Oh, what books have you written? I'll go. One woman said, I'll go to Barnes and Noble, and try to buy your book. Oh, it's not at Barnes and Noble. Oh, I'll go to the library. Oh, you can't get it at the library. Who's your publisher? I self-publish. Self-publish? What's that? Then I get all these questions. I have been asked when I'm trying to go grocery shopping. I'm trying to, pick up my groceries in the store, and people stop me and go, "Oh, what do you do?" "Oh, well, I'm a poet." "Oh, what do you write? How much money do you make doing that?" They ask me those personal questions. How much money do you make being a poet? The answer is nothing, really. I don't make any money being a poet. But I can't say that, because if I say I make nothing, then people will say, "Oh, you must be a real loser. You work for nothing?" What? Huh? What? What do you do for a living? I'm a YouTuber. I video stream. Oh, what do you talk about? How much money do you make from that? That's a very big question. What do you do, and how much money you make? I know those are private, those are personal questions that you shouldn't be asking someone. Even people I wouldn't even ask my best friend when I had one. I don't have any friends anymore. How much money you make? Because I think that's a very personal question that you shouldn't ask someone. And what difference does it make? Are you friends with someone based on how much money they make or what they do for a living? So I feel attacked. Like I said, I feel like that spotlight is on me. And sometimes my brain shuts off. People have asked me questions. Like one time, someone asked me, "What college does your son go to?" And I forgot. It wasn't like I didn't know what college my son went to at the time, Merrimack College in North Andover. It was like I felt so under attack that my brain just shut off, literally. So I could not think. I couldn't think. I couldn't remember what college my son was at. Or like if someone asked me, "What's your phone number?" And my brain will totally shut off, because I feel like I'm put in the spotlight. I'm a very, very shy, very insecure person. I don't like answering questions. I don't like small talk. A lot of people are very fake, and I sense that. I'm very sensitive. I pick up on the smallest little things. I prefer to be alone. Or if I am with someone, only with them, with that one person, not in a group setting. I hate being in a group setting. I never went to parties. I didn't go to my prom. I stayed away from social get-togethers. My husband had a big, big family. He had 3 brothers and wives and children, and I never used to go to the social get-togethers, people's birthday parties, people's anniversary parties, children's christenings, baptisms, I don't know, graduation, yada, 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 because I felt very, very uncomfortable. I don't do good in group settings because it's hard enough for me to concentrate when I'm talking to someone one-on-one. It is very hard for me to concentrate on talking to a group, all right? When I was doing that live and I was talking to one person, there was only one person talking to me during that live. I had a hard enough time just keeping up with what he was asking me. I was trying to look at what is he saying, reading it off the screen, and I had a very hard time just keeping up with him for 2 hours. Imagine if there were like 4 or 5 other people asking me questions. My mind would be like, I wouldn't be able to do it. I know I wouldn't be able to do a live if I had a lot of people, because people rapid fire asking me questions. I would feel like I'm ignoring the other people, trying to concentrate on one person answering them, and then 4 or 5 other people are asking me questions. I wouldn't be able to divide myself 4 or 5 ways. That's what I'm trying to say. I know other people do a great job at that. They do awesome. They can do a live. They can have dozens of people come on asking questions, and they have no problem with that. But because I'm an introvert, I can't do that. I can't multitask. I can't split myself up 100 different ways. I can't even split myself a few ways, I had hard enough time just trying to answer one person on that live for 2 hours, and I felt emotionally drained after that. So this is what happens with me. It just, the only time like I feel peace, and tranquility is when I'm by myself, out in nature, um, where I don't have to be on. You know what I mean by be on? Like when I do these videos, I have to be on. I have to be present. I have to, look at the cameras, talk to the camera. It's being on. When I'm in nature and by myself out there, I can be off. I can just relax and just take in. I think being on or being with people, talking to people, is overstimulating for me. Um, it's like someone who has ADHD. I do have that, by the way. I never really talked about it in depth. I might have done a video or two over a year ago on it. But I do have attention deficit disorder, where I can't concentrate. And my husband doesn't understand this at all. Like, he'll get angry at me. I just told you that. Didn't you hear me? And it's like I probably didn't hear him, because my mind is 100 different places in my head. In my head, I'm like 100 different places. So I can't really concentrate because I have attention deficit disorder. In fact, I was diagnosed by a psychologist specializing in attention deficit disorder, ADHD or something like that it's called. I was diagnosed with that, and I was also diagnosed with a high anxiety disorder too, as well as borderline personality disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder. So I have all of those diagnoses on me by professionals, not myself. I did not diagnose myself. I went to doctors. So it is very hard having ADHD, paying attention, because my mind is racing. So that's why it looks like I'm not listening to someone, or I'm not retaining what someone is saying, because my mind is like scatterbrain. Like a scatterbrain. My mind is like woo, 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 all over the place. That's why when I'm alone in nature, that's the only time, except when I'm drinking alcohol, it's the only time that I really feel at peace, unwinding, or when I'm with someone I truly love, and just being alone and quiet with that person, not having to talk. Have you ever felt really close to someone that you really loved, that you felt like you didn't need to talk? Words, you didn't need words to feel connected with that person, that you could feel very close in that person's company, by that person's presence, without having, some deep, meaningful conversation. And I've had that maybe once in my life with one person, that I didn't need words, that I could just be in their presence and just feel so relaxed and at peace, just being with them, not having to talk. Talking takes effort. Talking takes energy. Talking, to me, it's overstimulating. It's draining to me. I just rather be walking in the woods and see a bunny. I get all excited when I see a little bunny, or if I see a deer in the woods. That's exciting. I like to take a lot of pictures. One of my subscribers said they did photography, and I love taking pictures. I have pictures all over my house. But I do it on my phone. I'm not really a photographer. I don't have a camera. I'm not into professional photography, but I do love taking pictures, and I post my pictures all over Facebook and everything. I take pictures of when I go in nature. I take a lot of pictures of flowers. I love taking pictures of flowers, of birds, of lakes, of ponds, of the woods. I just love taking scenic pictures, and it's very relaxing doing that. But also, what's a terrible thing about me is I overanalyze everything. So if I have a conversation with someone, all right, I think a lot of people, after they talk to someone, then that's it. They don't give it a second thought, right? But with me, when I have a conversation with someone, I analyze it long after the conversation is over. So say I had half an hour conversation with you yesterday. Maybe that night or the next day, I will think about it. I'll keep thinking about it, maybe for weeks later, and I'll pick it apart, Um, I'll play it over in my mind. Wait a minute, this person said that. What do they mean? Well, at the time you're talking to me, my mind can't register what you're saying, not completely. Maybe only like 5 or 10%. But after we talk, maybe the next day, maybe the next week, maybe the next month, maybe the next year, I will keep analyzing that conversation over and over in my head and pick it apart, and maybe see it in a different light and realize things that I didn't when I was in the middle of having that conversation. And that is very, very draining. Do you know how many conversations I have analyzed in my head from years ago? From years ago! People wouldn't even remember it. If I said to someone like, you said this to me 5 years ago, they go, what? I don't remember that. You remember that? Like, what? Yes, this is what happens to me. I'm a overthinker. I overanalyze. That's why it's so draining. It's draining to me to talk to people, because it's not only at the time that I'm talking to the person. It's long after the fact. Like I said, it could be weeks or years. It's long after the fact. And I ruminate. That's what the word is. I ruminate about what people say. And, I think that over, and it affects me like it's fresh, like it's brand new. If someone had said something to me years ago, and, at the time they said it, it didn't register in my head because I'm scatterbrained, right? I will overanalyze that, and then I will ruminate about it, and then I will feel what they said long after they said it. You see what I'm saying? It's very difficult to explain, because a lot of people, I'm not sure, are you like that? Do you overanalyze what someone says long after they said it? And this is why it's so difficult for me to talk to people. It is very, very draining. It's tiresome. It's also hurts me. Why does it hurt me? Because, like I said, I overthink. So if someone said to me, like, for instance, I don't know, say my best friend's husband said to me, ooh, that top really shows off your assets, or something like that. I don't know. And I say, oh, really? You like this? Oh, thank you. And I didn't think too much of it at the time. Maybe a couple of days later, I might say, was he flirting with me? Which leads to another question. Was he coming on to me? Which leads to another question. Is my best friend's husband attracted to me? Then I'll start thinking about all the interactions I had. This is just an example. I'm just throwing this out as an analogy so you understand my thought process is different than other people's. Then I'll start thinking, overthinking, like, I came up with this because he mentioned about something about my top. And I'll start thinking about all my interactions with this person. Does it prove my point? Is he attracted to me? Is he trying to come on to me? Should I tell my best friend? Or you see how it like snowballs. It just snowballs and gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. This is why I hate talking to people. It's and like I said, I get hurt by what people say. I might take things the wrong way. Someone might say something innocuous like, "You gonna go out in that?" And they might mean it's very cold out. You should put a jacket on, right? They might not mean what I think they mean. Okay, they might mean like, say it's like 50 degrees outside, and I decide, oh, I'm gonna go out, and they look at me like, "You're gonna go out like that?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm just gonna put water in the bird bath or something silly. But then later on I'll think, what do they mean I'm gonna go out like that? do they mean that I don't look right, or I don't look good, or, I'll question what they said long after they said it. And I'll be so afraid, or I'm going to be so afraid they're going to hurt me. What are they going to say to me? I'll be scared about what's this person going to say to me, And I'll ruminate about things that they didn't even say yet, because I'll be worried. What are they going to say? I'll think, I'll be like, ooh, I really don't, I don't want to attend that party, because I don't want people asking me, what do you do for a living? Because I'm a writer and I'm a YouTuber. Those aren't your conventional jobs. And I really make no money on my YouTube channel. I make no money on my writing, because people aren't buying my books. People have to buy my books for me to make money, okay? People have to watch my YouTube channel, and I have to get views, like lots of views, not like 50 or 80. I need to get like hundreds of thousands of views. I need to get like maybe 10 or 20,000 views a video for me to make some money. And I don't even make 100 views sometimes. So it's hard for me to explain to people that I spend my whole day writing and doing YouTube videos and I don't make any money. They would look at me like, what? Why are you doing that? Why don't you get a real job, Why don't you get a real job that makes money, Especially since my husband isn't working. He thinks the same thing. He's not working. Why don't I look for a real job? Well, to me, this is real. I'm trying to help people by writing what happened to me in my books, sharing my story. I'm trying to help people by doing my YouTube channel. To me, this is real. I spend like hours and hours, 7 days a week doing this, but because it's not, people don't think anything is real until they see money symbols, Nothing is real unless you're making, so I feel judged. That's another reason why I don't like talking to people, because I'm thinking people are always judging me, They're always, they're thinking I'm a loser because of what I do. I'm not a conventional person. I don't have a conventional job. I don't have a conventional life. I'm afraid people are going to hurt me by their statements. And even if I don't recognize what they're saying is hurtful in the moment, long after they said it, I will think about it and it will hurt me, and it stays with me, I don't let go of things, maybe it's part of my borderline personality disorder, but I don't let go of what people have said to me in the past. I can tell you things that people said to me when I was 10 years old. I can quote the horrible things my mother said to me when I was a little girl. Horrible, horrible, cruel, vicious things she said to me. And they still impact me to this day. They still, that's why I have such a low self-esteem. So those are some of the reasons why I hate talking to people as an introvert. I would love for you to tell me, are you an introvert or an extrovert? Say in the comments. Tell me if you're an introvert or an extrovert. Tell me if you're an extrovert, what it feels like for you. If you're an introvert, do you share some of these common things that I do? Is it hard for you to talk to people too if you're an introvert? And if it is, why? Let me know. I want to hear from you in the comments. If you're interested in any of these books that I have written, the links to all these books are down below in the description. I even have one for 99 cents for a limited time, available on Kindle. It's Sexually Exploited by 3 Psychologists. If you'd like to help support my channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee. The link to that is down below in the description as well. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to write me, my email address is down below, Leanne, LEEANN 827@hotmail.com. And I will always write you back. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button on the lower right hand corner. That way you'll be notified each and every time a new video of mine comes out. It's 100% free. So stick around, take a chance, give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends, your family, on your social media platform, right? So what do you have to lose? It's free. And let me know. Please let me know in the comments if you're an introvert or if you're an extrovert, and what it feels like you being either one. All right. Until next time, take care and you have a great